to go ahead and pull it up on Facebook. Good morning.
Good
morning, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience.
The tech of it all, man.
Oh, it's also a big day, so
you know. All right, hide. Now maybe I can come back and see. So, good morning, YouTube and Facebook. If you're joining us live, say hello. If you are catching us on replay, comment and say replay.
Yep. And if you know any other small business owners, or I was thinking about this, I know several people who aren't necessarily business owners yet, but they've started a podcast or they have this idea, but they have no budget. So we're going to talk about how to market and actually grow with little to no budget, which I think is a really exciting topic. I think we've both been there, myself more recently than Julie for sure, in terms of marketing a business with no budget. But we definitely going to bring a little value today.
Exactly. And back in the dino ages when I started, there really wasn't a whole, there were some ways to market on no budget. But when you think about it, everything was TV, radio, billboards, newspaper, like you had to pay to play back in the day. I think the biggest thing about today is that there are so many avenues that you can pursue for free. Sort of the caveat for today is that you're exchanging that time for it. So it takes an investment of time to overcome and to be everywhere to do that. So guerrilla marketing back in the day used to be, all about the money. You had to have the money to do it. Today, it's time and money.
Exactly. I was just checking all our places. We got a lot of people who joined us already. And yes, Jate has let the cat out of the bag. Today is Julie's birthday.
Thank you, Jate. And everyone else, my phone is going to be, it's been crazy this morning. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Glad I could be here.
Exactly. Hi, Nikki. Hello. Hi, Nikki. Welcome. I see everybody is here. And we have already put up a blog post about this particular topic. Obviously, our lives are more fun because you get to hang out with us.
For sure. the whole reading of it all.
Yeah, but you can go check out that blog later if you want a refresher. And we're going to try to keep these a lot shorter because we realize that the shorter format keeps people a little more engaged and also is respectful of your time. So
exactly. We're trying to bring the thing that you need to do. We want to give you the time to go do it. So
exactly. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're not going to do all of because we have a blog to go with it as well. So we will be providing the value, teaching you the thing, and then you can go do a little more in-depth research with that pinned post on Facebook, or just head to our blog, sociallyinclined.com/blog, and look for the one on marketing on a shoestring budget.
That's right.
So,
Nikki, yes, 21 feels great. Thank you.
All right.
So let's get started.
For sure. So we know that having a little padding to market your business always feels really good. In fact, for me, that was kind of when I started having a little extra money to actually spend on marketing. That was how I kind of engaged, or how I gauged a little bit of success, for the business that I started first. But when you first start, and as I imagine a lot of people who are watching us live and on replay, you just don't have any. You might have spent what money you had starting the business, or maybe you had no money. In my situation, I started a business in like the red. I had been laid off and, just decided that I was going to make it happen. So this blog post and this live video is pretty close to me. But the good news is, there are a lot of things that actually really work that will help you grow, even if you have no money to spend or even just a tiny little bit of money to spend.
Exactly. So don't feel bad because we've all been where you are if you have little to no budget. The truth is, today, even brick and mortar people that start a business, they are severely underfunded when it comes to their marketing budget. And brick and mortar is so much harder to, you've got to have people come to you. So the beauty of most of our people that follow us are your online. So it's going to be a great topic for you today.
Exactly. So we don't love the term pillar, but we find that it resonates with our audience. But there's basically three core elements that you can focus on with a micro budget business that will help you grow in spite of not being able to invest. So those three things are your social media strategy. Hello. We're socially inclined. Obviously, we got to talk about that. Um, Creating great relationships, which I think in this digital world that we live in, a lot of times that's the one that gets overlooked. But then also making sure that you look coordinated and put together across your online presence. So those are the three things that we're going to elaborate in the next few minutes.
Exactly. The great thing about the social media presence is that it levels the playing field. You have just as much opportunity as anyone else out there. So again, we're coming back to this time versus money. Yes, you can hire a big agency to do, all the things, but back in the day, you had to spend money to be in the newspaper. Okay. So now that, having that as a free source is amazing because you can be everywhere that time allows you to be.
Exactly. And obviously you can invest in ads and it still fit in this social media umbrella. But we're talking about free things you can do today. So there are three free things you can do to help get that social media presence off the ground. The first one, we've talked about it. We've actually done a whole blog and a live video on it, but you want to go live and you want to get in front of your audience. And if you can't go live, then start with some video because videos are the trend for 2022. They were the trend for 2021. We actually are putting together another blog a couple weeks from now where we're saying that a lot of that is a side effect of what happened with COVID. People were looking to connect. So video really took the front and center stage for the prevailing content out there. So find a way to get on video, answer Q&As, host someone for an interview, demo something, sell your products, share behind the scenes, anything that you can to get in front of your audience will help build that social media presence.
Exactly. I think the main reason that COVID actually did that is because when we were isolated, we were looking for that connection and you felt like you were having that connection with someone, which brings us to number 2, and that's sharing value. So that was one of the things that, people were doing. They were looking for that community. And with that, so in lives, obviously, the way we do it, we're bringing value as far as educationally, but value being entertainment, anything that you can bring people an aha moment, I guess, on. Instead of just posting for the sake of posting, you're wanting to make that real connection through value.
Exactly. And the third thing that you can do to really help drive your social media presence up, reach more people, and get more engagement, which we all want to do that, is to be engaged yourself and to be consistent or active consistently across social media, which I think as busy business owners or someone who's trying to get a side hustle off the ground, this one seems to be the hardest because you have to go in and you have to be responsive to people, ask questions, answer questions, of course, posting regularly. But that consistent engagement on your part will in turn help the algorithm show your content to more people and find those people who do want to engage with you because they are out there. Just you have to do a little finagling with the way the algorithm works these days.
Yeah. And it is a little bit of a long game, but it's like a snowball, rolling the snowball. doing a little bit, the more you do, the more momentum you get with it. So I promise, if you start showing up, it really makes a difference. Commenting on other people's posts, just being being there and active online.
Exactly. Okay, so creating a strong social media presence, pillar number one, of course, that was it, because we are socially inclined, and that's where we shine. So those three things are going to help you get that social media presence off the ground. The second pillar is creating great relationships. And like I mentioned in the intro, this is probably a little hard, and hard for some new business owners, and then maybe also a little mystical. Uh, frou, like, okay, how do I create relationships with people whenever I don't meet them? So there are definitely some ways you can do that.
Exactly. So obviously we talked about, live in the first step, but why do you need to have this relationship? Obviously, people do business with people, so that's why we're trying to build this. If you're, online, you've got to get to know, like, and trust people. So you're going to create a unique customer experience. You need to stand out, from the crowd. So you're going to give value, and then you're going to try to get them to take the next step with you.
Exactly. I think it was 2 weeks ago, we did a whole little mini masterclass on an intentional online presence. And that's really where those relationships are built, right? Who remembers the whole marketing funnel, the scary discussion of taking someone from a cold and clueless lead into your sphere and warming them up, and showing them how much of an expert you are and how much you care about what you do, and warming that lead up into someone who is ready and willing to buy your products. That's what we mean by creating a unique customer experience. Intentional.
Exactly.
Yes, Nikki. Thank you, Savita.
Exactly. So, and when you are showing up, it naturally, again, this is the long game in a lot of cases. If you're a real estate agent, everyone's not looking to buy a house right now. If it's, fitness, people might have roadblocks up about wanting to get started, whatever it is. So the more you can show up, naturally provide value, you're going to win people over. So you're thinking about that when you are creating that customer experience.
Exactly. And that will naturally build your business through word of mouth too, over time, because there's no better referral system than social media and reviews and recommendations, Google reviews, you name it. Those are super important, and definitely happen naturally when you get the relationship building part right.
Exactly. Social proof, if you want to look at it like that. Also, so I've been building websites since 2004. And so I've built, a great following of people. I've built sites for thousands. So now, I don't know, in the last 5 years, I haven't had to sell at all. It all comes referral based. So again, it is getting started and showing up, and then that will naturally happen once you start getting when you have glowing reviews, fans, they're going to refer you. So that's the best of the best right there.
Exactly. All right. So that was your second pillar, creating, good relationships. Great relationships is really the key. The third and final pillar that we kind of came up with, the third element that is super important, is creating that branding online consistency and presence.
For sure. So we did a ton of this last year in our Take Action trainings. So if you haven't seen those, you need to go back and look up sociallyinclined.com/take action, because we did a ton on making all your profiles match, having a consistent content theme, making sure that your website matches those, showing up in Google My Business, everything you want when you're in different markets or different places, for people to be like, oh, yes, I've seen them here. Or so everything is like cohesive, I would say.
Exactly. And nothing, it doesn't matter how little, how tiny your business is, how new your business is, you get that branding consistency, a couple of core colors, a couple of core fonts in your logo, and you put that everywhere you are on social media. That, we're having a really bad thunderstorm here. Sorry if you heard that,
It's
but
fine.
that is, just think about how you feel when you see that across people's social medias, on their YouTube channel, on their Facebook, on their Instagram, and it all looks the same and it all looks cohesive. That's the best way to look like you're hiring someone to do your marketing and branding without having to, because it's free. It can be
Right.
free in Canva.
Yep. And I want to go back to baby biz. When we were baby biz, when we're just starting out, everyone starts with zero presence. So when you hear, and we keep talking about the be everywhere, the YouTube, the Pinterest, the whatever, you have to start somewhere. So just in coming up with your branding, think about your first place and then start adding on. So don't let this be overwhelming to you, because you can do it. Once you get one tackled, you can move on to the other. So once that happens, the next part is scary sounding. We've talked about this a lot, but SEO, or search engine optimization. So if you're going to go through the trouble of being multiple places and having a website, having a Google My Business listing, take a little extra time and think about the keywords and be sure that they are in those places. So if people are, it's one thing to just, be scrolling through and someone see you, but for them to Google a particular topic like social media marketing and for our website to come up, that is super valuable. So thinking about those things as you're going takes an extra 15 to 30 seconds, so do the thing as you're doing it and make sure you've got keywords built in, because it will help you in the long run. And if you don't have a blog, that's okay. I'm not sure if Jen's here. We've been on Jen because she's trying to start a blog. Anyone that, is on chapter 2 of 20, it's time to start thinking about a blog, because that's how people will naturally find you.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Did you already take the branding and?
Well, you kind of touched on it, so I went back to SEO. So let's talk about branding, because we need to get a little more specific about it.
Exactly. So a logo, your colors, again, those keywords, I think that seems a little scary for a lot of businesses, but it's really just a matter of sitting down and thinking about what those key phrases are that serve your ideal client, and making sure that those are put everywhere. And then making sure you have a consistent and present way for people to contact you, because there's nothing more frustrating than for someone to want to buy from you but not knowing how to contact you.
Exactly. I see that a lot when I do rebrands of people's websites. They make it hard to reach out, which is crazy. Obviously, that's how you get business. So make sure you have a contact page. Make sure you have a contact form, or at least your email address. And now, like forever, we had our phone number published. You might still be in that place, but our phone number isn't exactly published anymore because we can't take all the calls that we get. So anyway, but make sure that wherever stage you're in, to be sure to have a way for people to contact you.
Exactly. All right. So those were the 3 pillars. Sorry, Jen, you just joined us. You will have to go back and watch the replay. But yeah, the 3 pillars: creating a strong social media presence. Of course, doing that through video is a great way to build know, like, and trust. And then the second pillar was creating great relationships.
That's right. Leading with value.
Exactly.
You got to show them why they want to do business with you. Okay.
Exactly.
In a nutshell, you want, like, why would they ever choose anyone else? If you show up like with that mentality every single day, you'll win.
Exactly. And then creating that consistent online presence across everywhere that you show up just immediately creates this aura of professionality, and like you've got your act together, which everyone wants to do business with someone who has their act together.
For sure. So, no matter where you are in your journey, these are practical steps that you can start thinking about and taking in your business. So, if you only have one presence online, get that one to the best shape that it is and start showing up and giving value.
Exactly. All right.
Momentum, building momentum.
Perfect. So as we mentioned, this is a blog on our website. This conversation, we'll put the video up there too, so you can watch the replay later. You can go get all the goodness from there by clicking on that pinned link on this post. Julie, anything else?
I think that's all.
I think we're going to
for
wrap up
this training. So I'm going to hit end on YouTube, so that way if we do. But it is my birthday, so I'm going to